This video is how handler-owner mechanics can change the focus of the same exercise. For this example, we are looking at the kickback stand exercise. This is a key foundation core strengthening exercise. When executing the exercise, the dog has to engage their core muscles to kick back into a stand from a sit position. A dog having a strong core is essential for functional movement and reducing injury. Here are two examples of the kickback stand exercise. Is it the same exercise or is it? Let's take a closer look. Depending on our mechanics and placement of reward, the dog may utilize different muscle groups to execute the same exercise and therefore change the focus of the exercise. Method 1 uses a placement of reward mechanic by having the reward overhead and then dropping the reward to the knees. Method 2 uses a cue stand. Method 1, watch where the head is when the kickback stand begins. The shoulders are fully engaged as weight is shifted forward, the back is curved, and the shoulders are in flexion. This picture depicts the shoulder inflection as the weight is shifted. Method 2, watch where the head is when the kickback stand begins. The back is straight through the movement and the dog is engaging their core muscles to execute the movement with the front limbs only supporting the body. The dog is primarily using its core muscles to execute the kickback stand. Here are stills from Method 1. To begin, the dog's head is looking up at the reward lure. Following the lure, the head moves down, following placement of reward, shoulders engage, and the back curves. Dog relies on shoulder strength to support its body weight as core engages to propel rear assembly back into the stand. Note the clearance of the feet from the ground. The back is curved, indicating the weight is shifted forward on the front end for placement of a reward. Stills from Method 2. Head is up and the dog relies on core strength to propel rear limbs back into a kickback stand. Head does not dip forward and back is straight. The dog is relying on core strength to bring the rear assembly into a stand. Clearance of the feet of the ground is much greater than Method 1. As rear feet descend to a stand, the back and head are still level and front limbs only support. Another demonstration of a kickback stand using a trained cue stand. So why do our handler-owner mechanics matter? The first method of using propulsion and placement of reward has less core strengthening focus. It relies more on the dog's front end strength, handler mechanics, and placement of reward to execute the kickback stand. The dog's weight is shifted forward on the front end when the core engages to move the rear assembly into a stand. Method 2 utilizes primarily a trained cue to execute the exercise. The dog is utilizing muscle memory of being taught to kickback stand, using molding techniques, and then a trained cue stand. The dog will have to build sufficient core strength to execute a kickback stand to a proficient level, but that is the intent and goal of this exercise.